For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is the 22nd day of June, 2022, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or operating any type of motorized vehicle, please be extremely cautious. Ensure you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Or if you celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a belated happy birthday as well. And we want to remind you that this segment of the show, the birthday shout out, proudly brought to you by life insurance agents Michael Webster and Randa Lawson from Cayman Insurance Center. And they want to remind you that you should not take chances with your family's future. For those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to express our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. Those of you who are ill, either at home or at a medical facility here or overseas, we want to wish you a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. You're welcome to join us in the conversation. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, for the record, at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, I need not remind you that the person who's waiting there to take your calls this morning is none other than that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson. So, some birthday greetings. We got this one late on Monday, but we were made to understand that Bella celebrated a birthday on Monday as well, so we want to wish him a belated happy birthday. And today, Junie and JD Martin, they're celebrating their 16th wedding anniversary, and we want to give a big shout out to Miss Junie and JD on their 16th wedding anniversary as well. If you have anyone else who okay, we also advise that Miss Eula Glidden of West Bay, 90 years old today. Of course, Miss Glidden is the wife of the late Mr. Klein Glidden Sr., and she's also the mother of former MLA and former deputy speaker of our Legislative Assembly as well, Mr. Klein Glidden Jr. So, Miss Eula, want to wish you a happy birthday as well. I must say that Miss Eula also spent many, many years working with the elections office. She was also worked in, I think it was the Ministry of Planning and whatever public, well, at one point in time it was called Ministry of Infrastructure as well. She worked personally with the chief officer or permanent secretary in that ministry, Mr. Kerna Gomez as well. And as you know, during the elections, many civil servants served as elections officers as well. So her connection between the ministry and the elections office, and she worked with us for many years. So again, happy 90th birthday, Miss Eula, and JD and Junie, happy 16th wedding anniversary. And Bella, I want to wish you a belated happy birthday as well. Folks, you're not hearing a ghost's voice. You're hearing the real voice of Dr. Steve Macfield. You would have heard him call in a few times. I know many of you were querying, what's happening to Dr. Steve? Where is he? Where is he? Now, I know our Caymanians, some of them were doing it simply because they missed him and they wanted to be up, but they were curious as well. I wonder, I can hear some of them say, I wonder what happened to between Steve and OC that he's not on the show. He's not on the show anymore. yes. So Dr. Macfield is here. He's been extremely busy, and of course we've been extremely busy as well. And then of course when I get short notices of cancellations, it is not that easy for Dr. Macfield to shift his schedule and what he does, despite the fact that he is into his office very early in the mornings. But there may be some mornings where he may decide to stay home a little bit later. So it is not always that easy, for him to adjust. But he's here with us this morning in living color. Doc, good morning. Welcome back, sir.
Good morning to you, Mr. For the Record, and good morning to all your fans in the For the Record land and all the people in the Cayman diaspora and all those people who listen to you Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I want to say good morning to them, and all those people who have happy birthday. I want to say happy birthday to them too. Mm-hmm. It's good to be back on the show. Yes, I have been very busy, and for information to your listeners, I have been in the courts now for 3 weeks. I'm off for a week now, and I have to go back next week, and I'll be in court for another 2 weeks. My case was scheduled for 6 weeks, but it looked like it might finish in 5. And that's the reason why I have not been able to be on your show, because sometimes when you call, I am busy in the mornings. I got up early in the mornings to review the things that happened in the course before, and to whatever arguments or any applications I want to make. I can be prepared for that, and it's very, very interesting to be in the court systems for such a long time now. Again, as I get older, it's more taxing too for me. I'm not that spring chicken anymore. Yes, I remember the days when But
you're much wiser than many adversaries. In front of you.
Yes. And that is a gift that I have too. It's a lot of it come by experience, but a lot of it come from a gift that I have been blessed with, and I'm so happy that at my age I can still perform, and I can still go and help people and give advice and defend people in the court system.
Excellent. Now, Doc, I this one I know you're familiar with. One of our listeners called in on Monday morning, and she was quite happy and congratulated the government for finally paving Macfield Lane.
Yes.
And I know that you have family there and everything, and there may have been attempts made to try to have them give up some of their property to widen the road, but that would have proven an inconvenience to them because it would have brought traffic even much closer to their front doors and stuff like that. Are you up to date with the situation down there?
Yes, I'm up to date with it, and I had a meeting with the minister and his chief officer some months ago, when this was being contemplated, and they showed me the sketch of what they were trying to do. Then I think all they did was round out the corner of where my sister lives, and the Macfield Lane was belonged to us. We made that lane, to get to the end of our properties, right, and down there. And when the families start to get larger and spread and start building their own homes, we needed access
and stuff. Yes.
Yeah. So that was our properties, and then there was an attempt some years ago to widen the lane to make it a two-way street. With sidewalks on both sides. And when my sister called me one morning around 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and said that the Public Works was down there and they were trying to widen the road, and I went down there and asked them what was happening, and they showed me the map that they had to widen the road. The road was going to go 4 feet from my sister's bedroom, was going to take away all her front porch, her veranda, and her front yard, and they were not going to pay her any money, and
no compensation.
No compensation. They were talking about $1 a square foot, and I just told them, I said, listen, that kite's not flying in Macfield Lane today. That kite's not going to fly down here, and so I rallied the family together, and we said, listen, if you send, just like Arden said, if you send the bulldozers down here, we're going to chain ourselves to the gate, and you're going to have to kill us because we're not going to give up our land for nothing down here. And they abandoned that. But Minister Ebanks, he's a real gentleman, and he understands the community spirit. He called me and said, this is what we want to do, and asked me if we would be happy with it. And I spoke to my sister, and she said yes. And they went ahead and they paved the whole lane, which is very good. I remember when that was just a little rock hole, a little rock way. You had to walk up and down in the holes and stuff because it was not paved. And the only neighbors that we had on that side was CB, the Lake Clifton Borden's mother, those were our neighbors. But we own all the property from Mary Street all the way back to the school down there, all the way back to the primary school.
Speaking of Minister J. Ebanks, he is probably one of the youngest ministers, and we have several ministers in there who are holding ministerial posts for the first time, but very little experience. But he's getting high marks from the public in terms of comments that I see on social media and stuff like that. He's getting high marks for the fact that, number one, he's prepared to listen. He's also prepared to act, to get things done. He likes to get things done, and seems to have garnered a tremendous amount of respect from the people of the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, I think one of the great philosophers said, politics is not a profession. Politics is it's about policy and implementing the needs for the people in which he'll elect you. He has gotten that right. Law is a profession, architecture is a profession, medicine is a profession, politics is not a profession. It's caring about the people that you have to that you're in charge that have given you charge of their affairs for them. And I think that's what he's been doing very successfully. A lot of politicians do not understand that. They think that politics is a profession, and once they get in the profession, they think that they are about the people who elected them. People don't elect me as a lawyer. People seek my advice as a lawyer and pay me to represent them. And once they pay me to represent them, I am at their beck and call and have to do what they tell me to do and take instructions from them. Politicians are the same thing. But it's not a profession. It's because there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee in politics, like in medicine and stuff, where you guarantee because you have a degree and you belong to this association, you can be there for your whole life, as long as you do you don't you be the ethics of the profession. But politics is not the same thing, and I think that Minister Jay Borden is one of the young politicians who understands that.
Okay. We've reached that point in time where we have to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
In February 1994, the Cayman Islands saw the historic first knighting of Sir Vassall Johnson after a civil service career spanning nearly 50 years. Although he personally credited expatriates James MacDonald and William Grundy for their architectural work in the design of the various company laws of the 1960s, it was Sir Vassall who has been credited with being the steady force behind the Cayman Islands' rise throughout the world of international finance. Born to East Indian parents in Jamaica in 1922, Sir Vassall moved to the Cayman Islands with his mother in 1934. He began working as a clerk in the court in 1942, and after serving in the war efforts, rejoined the civil service and began his steady climb through the government ranks. In 1972, Sir Vassall was appointed the first financial secretary, which he held for 10 years, and remained on the board of the Monetary Authority for many years after.
Threads, fibers, the finger-printed view, history captured, vibrations of color from canvas, the vivid, the lively, the subtle message in image, the potter's dream, the picture that speaks, that sings, that shouts, that laughs, that cries, layers of truth in revelation. The National Gallery, celebrating 25 years since 1996, now finally rooted in 10-year-old digs, a permanent home since 2012. The National Gallery of the Cayman Islands, our leading voice, the face of the visual arts, education, exhibition, the pearl of cultural exhortation, home of our treasure, the permanent collection. Bendel hides the pillar, the icon, master painter, trailblazer, our Caymanian Picasso. Rotary Central invites you to view all that we are at the National Gallery. Rotary serves to change lives.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamt Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamt Motors, Walkers Road.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
JN Money, money touchdown. Send the money now, reach wow. You say you need some money, JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use your money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
Hi, I'm life insurance agent Michael Webster.
And I am Randy Lawson from Cayman Insurance Center.
Proud sponsors of the birthday shoutouts on For the Record.
Whether you're another year older or just a year wiser,
making sure your family is protected is a pretty wise choice. I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
And I am Randy Lawson at 322-2145. Give us a call today to find out how you can better secure your family's future.
Cayman Insurance Center, protecting you and your family so you can take back your future.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, none other than Dr. Steve Macfield. Miss Susan, you said we have a caller? We have a caller, so we're going to grab that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning, OC.
Hey, good morning, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Not too bad. How are you?
Good, thanks.
And good morning to Dr. Steve.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Why, just like when you were poor.
Yes. Yes. Well, then, if that continues now, and that is what happens now, you should send me a few bonds then from.
I'm planning on it pretty soon, man.
If one of those cinnamon buns that you make.
Yeah, man. Man, it's nice to hear you on the radio.
Yes, nice to hear you too, my friend.
Yes. But speaking about Markfield Lane.
Yes.
That road was just a little track to Mr. CB House, you know.
That's right.
Because that was the opening for us to the annex.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think more Mill Street people use that road than anybody else, you know?
Yes. But my grandfather we used to own all the land all the way up to near where the what's that place now where DHL is now.
Oh yes.
Yeah, my whole the family on both sides, so my grandmother's side and from my grandfather's side, and then my grandfather opened up that lane when my Frank's father and them started building down there.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
to get to their houses, houses down there, and then when the school was open, then the government widened that lane a bit. They widened that lane a bit so to get to the annex.
Yes. I remember when Top Star opened.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
And I think that was what made a lot of traffic come there.
Yes.
Through that lane, you know.
Yeah, Top Star and then Farmers Bright Sport started after that.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, man. They used to have a teenage dance party.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Man. It's nice to reminisce about those places because, you know, I'm part of it, you know, and so is Raina Barnes and the whole Markfield Square, the Evans, the Barnes, the whole works.
Yes, that's right. I remember when you people came there too. And you purchased that light from old Mr. John Lonza Borden. It used to be an orange grove. A lot of orange trees there.
Oh yeah, we were always kept in oranges when the trees were bearing.
Yes.
You know, and also the Mr. John Lonzo wife, and I had a nice guinea tree in the back there.
Mm-hmm.
That we used to have to pick guineas for her to give somebody, and that's when we would get our share of the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was really nice growing up on Mary Street in that area.
Yeah,
you know?
and you could go to the forest. We thought it was like Robin Hood Forest. Then behind your house, you cut a bush. To us that was such a big place when we were growing up there.
Yeah, we also had cut a bush that we could go to and fill our baskets and whatever that was going. You know, it was really nice, man. But Doc, it's really nice to hear you again on the radio, and I got to go now, but I hope to talk to you pretty soon again.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Miss Susan, you want to try to squeeze that caller in? We have a caller, but it's likely to be very short. About 2 minutes. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Hey, morning, Billy. How are you?
Fine, thanks. You say I might have about 2 minutes?
Yep,
Okay, let me see if I can squeeze it within that. Well, first of all, it's very good to hear Caymanians reminisce on how it used to be, you know, because that's very, very interesting, because your Cayman, the Cayman as you knew it, of course, is slowly being chipped away.
Mm-hmm.
And in listening to the calls, practically the last few weeks, everybody's saying you have granted too much status, you have granted too much PR. This country is being chipped away, and we will have nothing left, like in terms of our heritage. Miss Mary Lawrence spoke about that on Dwayne's show. Johan Samwazom, a lot of people, spoke on that.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I know that there are some recommendations which are making their way through government now. So I don't know if those will fundamentally change anything, but I will tell you what I think can fundamentally change everything. There's this issue which we've already discussed. According to my information is that the reason why status has to be granted at 8 years and those who fail have to leave at the end of 9 years, the reason is because the European Union, European Court of Human Rights or whoever, issued a directive to say you have to give people permanence after 10 years. That's my understanding.
That's not so. That's not true, because the Constitution says that we have complete control over our immigration system. Section 16 says, or the Bill of Rights says, that we have complete control who comes, how long they can stay, what kind of work they can do, and where they can, what kind of business they can enter into. So all of that is just a lot of junk, and we have had people who have been using any excuse to increase the people. But the problem that I have, that we have become a historically weak people, and a historically weak people have no right to be treated as equals, and this is what's happening. For instance, Billy, I was born less than 10 minutes from this radio station, and it seems like I had born in another country by being in the Caymanian and the Cayman, and that's a problem that we have in, and we need to talk. We need to stand up and face the reality about that. We have control of our own system, and we need to keep that control, because if we don't,
make way for. Yeah. Doc, we have to go to break to our 8 o'clock news. Sorry about that. And Bill, if you're hearing us, please feel free to join us again after the 8 o'clock news. Folks, please stay tuned. Sorry about that, Doc.
Thank you, OC. And studio time now by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
Make way for Dairy Month.
This year, Foster's is taking a legendary spin on dairy.
Each week, Foster's Camana Bay will be offering special weekly samplings of yogurt, cheese, and dairy alternative products.
We're also offering 5 lucky customers a chance to win a $200 Foster's card when you purchase any 5 dairy products at any Foster's location from now until 30th June 2022.
For more information, head to fosters.ky.
Get moving with us and celebrate dairy all month long. Foster's, better because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The Financial Services Minister is leading a delegation in Switzerland at the Future of Financial Services Forum. Radio Cayman's Felicia Rankin-Solins reports.
Minister of Financial Services and Commerce, the Honourable Andre Ebanks, is leading the Cayman Islands delegation to the inaugural Point Zero Forum in Switzerland, an invite-only, in-depth engagement forum which focuses on the digital economy and sustainable finance. The in-person only forum brings together select global leaders, founders, and investors with the purpose of developing new ideas to advance the future of financial services, such as decentralized finance and Web 3.0, embedded finance and sustainable finance, driving investment activity by bringing together leading founders with venture capitalists, private banking clients, family offices, and private equity houses, and dissecting regulatory considerations related to each FOFS development by bringing together public and private sector leaders. The conference is from June 21st to 23rd. Accompanying Minister Ebanks is the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority's Managing Director Cindy Scotland and Acting Deputy Managing Director General Counsel Angelina Partridge, Government's Financial Services Representative to the UK Jean DaCosta, and Cayman Enterprise City CEO Charlie Kirkconnell. For Radio Cayman News, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
Hazard Management Cayman Islands is looking for a few good men and women to volunteer to take on important emergency response roles during a National Emergency Operations Center activation. More from Radio Cayman's Shanda Gallego.
With the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season underway, Hazard Management Cayman Islands HMCI is seeking volunteers for its crisis hub, missing persons personnel, shelter managers, and minute takers. The NEOC is activated as required to direct and coordinate the response to national threats such as natural disasters and severe weather events. The center consists of 17 emergency support teams grouped into 4 clusters: human concerns, emergency response, support services, and infrastructure. HMCI Director Daniel Coleman explains that each of these roles requires volunteers who are calm under pressure, work well in teams, and want to be a part of the solution in an emergency. If you're interested, email hmci@gov.ky or call 945-4624. Shanda Gallego, Radio Cayman News.
And get your kids immersed in Caymanian culture. More from CIG-TV's Donna Bush.
The Cayman National Cultural Foundation is excited to bring back its popular summer camp, which aims to engage youth in the visual, traditional, and performing arts and includes field trips highlighting Cayman's cultural and maritime heritage. This year's camp is being held in partnership with Pan in the Rhythm, and a few scholarships for camp for the camp are being offered. Now, for more details, you may contact Melanie McField, Director of Programs and Communications. The registration deadline is July the 6th.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
The BBC News with Jerry Smith. Hundreds of people have been killed by a powerful earthquake in eastern Afghanistan. Pictures showed landslides and mud-built homes reduced to rubble in Paktika, the worst affected province. The Afghan Deputy Disaster Management Minister said the casualty figure could be as high as 900 people. The Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is making his first trip to Turkey since the murder of the journalist Jamal Khashoggi in the kingdom's consulate in Istanbul. President Erdogan of Turkey now welcomes the de facto ruler of Saudi Arabia, who denies allegations that he ordered the killing of the Washington Post journalist, a leading Saudi dissident. A major oil refinery in southern Russia, near the border with Ukraine, has been hit by 2 drone strikes. Video footage on social media appears to show the moment one of the drones hit, causing plumes of black smoke. In Ukraine, Russian artillery attacks on the eastern city of Lysychansk have intensified. Hot, dry weather in northern China has led to record demand for electricity to power air conditioners, as the south of the country suffers devastating floods. The Chinese Premier, Li Keqiang, has called for an increase in coal production to ensure there are no power cuts. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Excuse me, I noticed you from afar.
Really? Me?
Well, not you. The KFC sandwich you're eating?
Oh, Zinger.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it's called the Zinger Sandwich. Crunchy, juicy, 100% chicken breast, crisp lettuce, sweet mayo on a seeded bun with a little zing. KFC's chicken is not factory breaded, frozen and refried like the Burger Boys. Customize your KFC Zinger and dip it in barbecue sauce.
Wow, now I'm starting to notice you too.
KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Attention, micro and small business owners. The Cayman Islands Center for Business Development invites you to its Raising Capital Forum. The forum is intended to provide micro and small businesses with information on how to raise capital and know what is available in the financial landscape, funding options, and requirements. The forum takes place at the Marriott Beach Resort, Thursday, June 23rd from 4 to 6 p.m. To register, go to the Cayman Islands Center for Business Development website at cicbd.gov.ky or email cicbd@gov.ky, or you can call 345-244-8009.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Head east on Cove Road. Sharp left on Church Street. Sharper left. No, your other left. Did I say left? Nope, you missed it. Okay, I'm lost.
With money-saving bundling options for home and motor, we're like a GPS that doesn't steer you wrong. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Let's stop and ask for directions.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 82 degrees. Relative humidity is 80%. The barometric pressure is 29.92 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east at 9 knots. Overnight low temperature was 81 degrees. Synopsis indicate a surface trough east of Jamaica is expected to move across the Cayman area this afternoon, supporting an increase in cloudiness and a few showers, with a decrease into the evening as the trough moves east of the area. Moderate to light easterly winds and seas expected to continue across the Cayman area as a high-pressure system moves over the western Atlantic Ocean and weakens. Satellite images show a few low-level clouds, mostly south of the Cayman Islands, drifting towards the east. The forecast for today calling for partly clouded to cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures will rise to the upper 80s. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Forecast for tonight calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures will fall to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Low tide will be this morning at 11:51, high tide this evening at 6:36. The sun will set this evening at 5 minutes past 7 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:50. And the outlook is calling for light easterly winds and seas through Friday morning.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning, everyone. Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, I see we have just about everyone, and of course Tom drops off, as per usual. Let's just wait a minute here. He always comes right back, and we're almost ready, and... oh, whoever's dog that is, please go on mute. Why won't it let me share my screen? Okay, looks like we're ready to start.
We're like a video conference with no technical issues. CG Britcay. Good like that.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving your goals is a very rewarding feeling, but at times can feel very frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting goals, adjust as necessary. When goal setting, anticipate ups and downs. Often it will be easier to stick to some goals than others, so allow yourself to have some flexibility in your approach and assessment. Continue to dream and adjust the end game to maintain interest and motivation. Ask yourself, is this really my goal? If it is a goal imposed by others, then consider what may be in it for you. Why would you do this? There is always the option not to do it. Figure out why you're doing it and then go for it.
Change your thinking and change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman. Health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at traffic. Busy traffic coming from the east on the Linford Pearson Highway and also on Cool Road heading to Georgetown. Delays expected. Busy traffic coming off of the Esley Tibbetts Highway heading towards the Butterfield Roundabout. Steady traffic on the Westway Road in front of the Ritz, but nothing to worry about too much. As we look to downtown Georgetown on Edward Street, traffic is moderate, as well as on Godfrey Dixon Way and Eastern Avenue. Shedden Road traffic is flowing pretty good. Coming off of the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way, busy traffic. Slight delays expected. That's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Remember, click it or ticket.
Subway's giving you flavor around the clock with the new Chicken Squad sandwich options. Try the classic chicken and bacon ranch, the sweet and savory barbecue chicken, or the chicken cordon bleu. 3 new appetizing and delicious sub options that you can also make into a wrap. The Chicken Squad is available at Subway for only a limited time. Subway, giving you something to cluck about.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Refilling and transferring your prescriptions have never been this easy. Simply go to healthcarepharmacy.ky and follow the easy directions from your desktop, mobile device, or tablet. All you need to do is pop into Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor to collect your prescription. They're open 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday and 10 till 6 on Sundays and public holidays. No waiting in line, no wasting your lunch hour, no stress. Just easy online prescription refills and transfers from the pharmacy that has been caring about your health for 25 years. Call 947-8900 to speak to a pharmacist or go to healthcarepharmacy.ky and make life easy.
The Honorable Minister for Health, Wellness, and Home Affairs, Ms. Sabrina Turner, is pleased to announce the registration is now open for the Prospect Youth Summer Camp. Registration for this multi-focus camp is completely free for all Prospect children ages 4 to 17. The 5-week camp will run from July 11th to August 12th. Interested parents can register at the constituency office at number 33 Marina Drive, Prospect. For more information on the Prospect Youth Summer Camp, call 746-9314 or 929-8080.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McPhail. If Billy is still listening, I want to invite him to call back when it's convenient for him as well. We're also advised by Mr. Joey that he's listening to us and we're coming in loud and clear. He's over in Pennsylvania and he says the revolution is at hand. The revolution is at hand. So, Doc, one of our listeners had a question in relation to what the rules are, what the law is in relation to if there's a hurricane and trees on one person's property end up falling over in the other person's property. What does the law say? What recourse may the person who has been adversely affected by that have?
Well, they would have no recourse because that would be an act of God. The person whose property the tree falls into would not have any recourse against the other property. That would be an act of God. You would not be able to get any compensation or payment for damages. However, if the owner of the tree cut the tree down, and the tree is in such a position that he knows that the tree is going to fall into the other person's property and cause damage, then he would be liable for whatever damage caused with it, because that would be negligence on his part.
So the mere fact that he may have, let's say if the person felt that they may have planted the tree too close to the boundary in the first place,
yes,
which he should have anticipated that in adverse weather, the likelihood of that blowing over into his neighbor's property.
That's not reasonable foreseeable. That's stretching it too far. That's stretching it too far.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe Billy has rejoined us. Maybe he wants to chime in on that as well. Billy, good morning. Welcome back.
Well, thanks for allowing me to go back. I was just listening to the issue about the tree. Of course, Dr. Steve is right, but so long as if it is reasonably foreseeable, those are the words that he used just now.
Yes.
If it is reasonably foreseeable, like you have done something which is clearly careless, and you should have foreseen that the failure of you to do something or to do that thing would have resulted in the tree falling, yes, you'd be liable. But generally speaking, that would not be reasonably foreseeable. It's always very, very difficult. Anyway, so that's my little 2 cents on that one.
Thank you.
And then the one about the status grants and the Constitution. I mean, needless to say, Dr. Steve, you have made that point over many years. In fact, I think one of the last times you made it, I think it was like 4 years ago or 5 years, I had called into the show, and again we got into that, and you said that at that time, and you have said it many, many times, and it is of course correct. There is a right of the government in areas relating to employment. Under the Constitution, it allows for discrimination to be done. It's just that successive governments have refused to just do something about that. And you talked about how that amounts to being scared, more like shrinking violets, if you like. What I want to do is add another thing to that, because some people have been saying, oh, but even if you do it, under your Constitution, if it is challenged to the European Court of Human Rights, which I think we still have a right to go to until the UK withdraws from that particular treaty, they are saying, well, but that court is going to strike it down. But I disagree with that as well.
Me too.
Okay? I disagree with that as well. And then there's more than one reason, but let me give you one example of why the government would succeed. In the 70s, I was doing a research for my master's at the university, in the 80s, for my master's at the University of Ottawa. And I was researching trade union law. And I came across this case of Norway. Norway restricted strikes in oil installations. They said you can't strike in oil installations because we get about 38% of our revenue from oil. And if we have strikes in this industry, there will be problems in the economy. And the unions in Norway challenged that and went to the International Labour Organization and said this is an undue limitation on the right to strike. Now, a lot of people didn't expect the Norwegian government to win that because the right to strike is recognized in international law. But you know what happened? Norway were able to convince the ILO that they were an exceptional case because of how much they relied on oil, and therefore they won the case. They could prohibit strikes in oil installations. You tell me, don't you think that if Cayman went to the European Court of Human Rights, if somebody challenged it all the way there, do you think that Cayman will have a weak argument if it says, well, we are an exceptional case? You people in the UK, you withdrew basically from the EU. Why? Because of immigration. And yet you are not threatened to the same extent that we are threatened. And this is why we have enacted a constitution which says very clearly that we can discriminate on the basis of employment because we are a dying species in our own country. And let somebody challenge that and go to court. But the problem is that although this is something that can be won, I think, at a constitutional level. It can be won even at the level of the European Court of Human Rights. There is just no political will for any government to do anything. Now, I understand there are some suggestions which are coming through now. I don't know how much they are going to do. But I think there's a lot of suggestions out there which have been made by people about how to limit this issue of status grants. And in my view, both at a national constitutional level as well as an international level, Cayman is highly likely to succeed. Thank you very much.
Billy, before you go, Ms. Susan, do we have any other callers on hold? Okay, we have some callers, but if you can give Ms. Susan your number off air. Okay. There are two things that I want to discuss at some point in time. And one was mentioned before, and we want to talk about this bill that is being debated now in the UK Parliament in relation to
reform, the reforms
would allow the UK courts to diverge from the ECHR rulings.
Yes,
and the other thing that I want to talk about is that in one of our regional newspapers the other day, there are 4 lawyers, I believe it is in just one jurisdiction, not 4 lawyers across the region, but 4 lawyers in one jurisdiction who are in prison now because they have misappropriated clients' funds and have been found guilty and have been jailed. And we want to talk about some of the guardrails that we have in place in the Cayman Islands, because you don't hear about that occurring in the Cayman Islands, and talk about why we're so successful in not having that occur here in the Cayman Islands as well. So we're gonna have her call you back at some point, because we want you to engage in this conversation. So stay on the line so she can get your number. Okay, Billy?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Miss Susan will grab the other caller in the meantime. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning, Mr. O'Connor.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Okay, and good morning to Dr. Steve.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Okay. No, just overhearing you all speaking about the tree concerning what could be done in court.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a question. If a beach access is blocked and there's an emergency that the ambulance needed to get into that area in order to save someone's life, if the people responsible for blocking that beach access are taken to court, and it's proven that the person that lost their life because of that beach access being closed and the ambulance not having enough time in order to save the person's life, what could happen to an individual that does that?
They would be liable, of course. They would be liable. They would be liable in tort. They would be liable in civil wrong for the loss of the life, and whatever the damages that flow as a consequence of that. They would be liable for consequential damages, because just let me divert a bit. I wish that somebody would help me understand why is it that's so difficult for us to protect the Caymanian people's right to use the beaches and to have access to the beaches which is given to them by law that are generations old. Why is it so difficult to do that? I just cannot understand that this morning, sir. And so you hit a soft spot in me, and I am so upset about this, that it's taking all this roundabout way to do this when we have this right given to us from 1882, and we have been using those beach accesses. And God forbid, if one of those block accesses was the cause of somebody's death, what would happen in Cayman? And we are subsidizing billionaires and millionaires who block these accesses and who do not care about our rights and our environment. That is a problem that we have, and I'm glad that you brought that question up this morning. So it's very, very important. And although it might be remote in time, but it's very, very important that if that ever happened in Cayman. And I wonder how the people would react. They would react the same as they do now. They would talk about it for 3 or 4 days, and then they would put their tail behind their legs, and they would walk away and forget about it the next 3 or 4 days after that.
Okay, thank you very much, caller, for that, and Doc, thank you for the response as well. We have another caller. Let's grab that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, gentlemen. Dr. Matfield, nice to hear you in the studio.
Yes, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, stranger.
That's all. I'm not following you. And the caller from overseas, good morning, Mr. Overseas caller. I don't know why you don't come back home. Anyway, Dr. Matfield, I can give up in my mind and my heart and my spirit, because I hear you this morning with the Matfield lean thing, and I know it's important to you, and it's important to the Matfields, and, your sister, that's one of my favorite persons in the whole wide world. But I so wanted it called Top Star Lean. And Dr. Matfield, one day, you and Mr. For the Record, is going to have to give me, I don't care who else wants to hear, the story of Top Star. We talk about women's issues and women's rights and glass ceilings. I didn't know anything about that, because every day that I got on the road and I had to pass Top Star, I was like 8 years old.
Oh, yes.
I was elated. I was excited to see that wonderful, and I wish we could have a replica of Top Star.
Yes.
Done somehow. And to know, even at 8 years old, I knew that was special that a woman owned and operated that business. I just knew it. A strong Caymanian woman, a strong Georgetowner.
Onisha McField.
And I so want to know the backstory to that. And also Uncle Lemmy's, I call it grand house. It looked like it was the family house, the big house on a plantation. To me, as a young little child, like 5 years old, that was a grand big house. And I want to know the history of that too. And to the Braca off Mary Street. Good morning to you too, sir. But please, Dr. Macfield and Mr. For the Record, give me that.
Yes, I will. We will do that. We have a show for you. And that house, I think that was the most damaging physical thing to our Macfield's environment when that house was torn apart. I remember when my mother called me and said, "Steve, come down quickly. They're tearing the house up. They're tearing the porch off. They're doing all the stuff." I went down there, and I said, "What's going on here?" And the gentleman was from Honduras, and he says that his mother-in-law, which is my aunt, had given him permission to put a shop there. And what he did, he destroyed that house. That was a landmark of Mary Street, Upper Mary Street. That was a landmark at Upper Mary Street. That was one of the most beautiful homes on that side of the street. And they tore that down, and now the whole front of it now is change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what we'll try to do also is include Dr. Frank in
Dr.
that
Frank,
conversation. Yes.
Because Dr. Frank one time had a gallery in it. One of the first art galleries there was Dr. Frank and Bendel Heights when Bendel Heights had just come back from England, and Dr. Frank had a gallery there, and people would come up there to buy Bendel's paintings.
Mm-hmm. But give me something on Top Star. Oh, how beautiful that was as a woman. And like I said, I was only 8 years old when I started walking the street by myself. But I always knew that was something great. And the windows, the little accordion windows.
Yes.
And you could pull them in, and it was right up against a barbed wire fence. I know you could put your hand out the window.
Yeah.
And the barbed wire. Oh, God, that excited me beyond. But anyway, gentlemen.
Well, Mom, before you go, I spend many nights there, boy. Dancing to Elvis Presley, boy, and I had everything. Had the blue suede shoes too.
No. What about the two color shoes? The two color shoes.
Yes, I had the two-tone shoes too. Yes.
Okay.
The wingtip shoes.
Okay. I never actually grew up many secrets, so I never asked for it. But anyway, have a nice show. It's. I know it's beautiful going through because it's beautiful now. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Good time for us to take a commercial break. We still have callers on hold. When we return, we will take those callers, so please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Make your house into a home
Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have 3 callers queued up, so we're going to take all 3 calls. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Record. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you doing? How are things over there?
Oh, everything out here is bleaming. I'm checking my bottlers and making sure everything is up to date because I'm getting a lot of orders. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. But good morning there to Dr. Frank as well.
Dr. Steve.
Yes.
I have to agree with that gentleman that called it just now about the lock off of these beach access. Now, that's been on my agenda now for a while. And for all of those that listen to my voice in the Cayman Islands don't know who I am, the Minister of Tourism has to call me uncle. And here in Cayman Brac, I back down from no borders. No matter where I go, I back down from no borders. But I am here for people of Cayman, especially my own children here in Cayman Brac. When we have to go to the beach access around this place here, we have no access to beaches that we raised up on, that our children go to. I am so tired and sick of being sick and tired because we have, right on the east side of me, lives one woman, and that is a tyrant to people on this island. The government just paved a brand new piece of road out to the house, to the west side of her house to go to the beach access. She tries to block it with her vehicle that people can't drive out the road.
Wow.
We had areas on the south side where we used to go just to walk on the little beaches area just because the water is too shallow to swim. But at least you could go out there, walk it, and sit down, pick up your shells, and relax for the Sunday evening or whatever till you ready to go to church. And the law allowed Scott Development to go there and put boulders that only a bulldozer can move. Now, where does the law stand in this Cayman Islands here for Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, because down there is just as bad? For these 3 little Cayman Islands here, for the Caymanian people, this is my argument to any government official that comes stand in front of me or come to my home and talk to me. I am here to defend who we are, and I ain't going to stop till I get that done, because something needs to be seriously done with these 3 little islands that we can call Cayman again. We never come here begging. They're supposed to come here begging us. I keep repeating that. It sounds like I'm repeating myself saying that because I don't feel like Caymanians supposed to be begging. When they come here, they're supposed to look up to us. Some days ago, see, I was driving on the road, and a stranger, I don't want to call his name, but a stranger crossed me on the street. He driving his car. He's a stranger here. I know he come from what part of the state he come from. I don't want to call no name. The man look after me like, what you doing on the road? what you doing on the road? I do not understand where the government gives these people authority to come here and do as they please. For me and you to go put a little 4-foot wall or a fence out by our front yard to protect our yards, we got to go through all kind of red tape with planning to put that down. Oh, see, they got some rocks on the side of the roads here. Let me tell you something. Sometimes I even afraid to drive past them. They look like they got roll out in the road. How can government allow these things to happen? Because people got money?
But, sir, it is not only the government. It's we as the people. We are being disrespected because we do not stand up strong for our historical tradition and our culture.
That's true.
A historically and mentally enslaved people have no right to be free, in my estimation.
Right. That's right.
That's what we have become.
Yeah.
We have done it to ourselves. We have become historically weak, and therefore we are not treated as equals with other nationalities who live here, because we have become historically weak and people who are historically weak are never treated as equals. And that's the problem that we have in this country. It's a good thing that I would never elected as a minister, because I would send my bulldozer in there every time they close it. Every time they close an access, I would send my bulldozer then clear it.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, Doc, I keep telling people here, especially here in the block, I can't talk too much in Grand Cayman. The majority of the people in the Cayman Islands work for Cayman Islands government. The people have the right to speak. Stop letting the government let them think that they can't speak. We are a free country. We have the right. Once we don't infringe on no one character or cursing about it or saying slang lies or whatever about an individual, we have the ever right to speak our mind and let these people know that we are here to stay. They are not here to stay. They came here with a baggage. They can leave with two if they want, but they have to leave. We don't have nowhere to go.
Sir, we are also respected because we take no honor in who we are as a people.
Exactly.
Okay. Caller, I want to thank you very much for that. We're going to try to grab those other callers as well. One of our listeners says, the beaches belong to the people of the Cayman Islands. We fought this issue aggressively in Barbados as well. Let's grab the next caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, O.C. Morning, Dr. Phil.
How are you doing, my friend?
Morning.
I am good. I'm good in the back here. I remember Monday when I called in, somebody wrote in and said that, you know, I'm so passionate about the ganja, but if I would be so passionate about the drunken driving and criminalizing that.
Yes.
Well, look here. She needs to talk to the elected members because they're wrong. It's not ganja in there, you know. There is no ganja, man. Well, if any of them smoke ganja, I don't hear them talking about it. So, that has been a criminal offense, you know. But it's just like anything else. They check who they want to check. Last night I was out having a nice time, and I left my truck at buses. I made my friend take me home. So all I can do is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, that's smart. Yes,
you know?
yes. You take individual responsibility. Yeah.
Now, see, I can ask this question to the same person, whoever it may be. How many young Caymanians have been denied visas to go to college because they drink liquor? They've been denied because they smoke herb and got caught with this split, right? Am I right? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, conviction there can affect your ability to enter some countries, yes, and get a visa. Yeah.
Right, and that's to better yourself. That's looking at the education there. And tell me something. How many people go to look at jobs? Young Caymanians go to look at jobs and say, well, do you drink and drive? You know what I'm saying? Do you have a drug record? That's the first thing they ask. Well, yeah, sorry, I get catch with a bit of weed when I was 16. Oh, I'm sorry, you have a drug record. We can't hire you. And see, the last thing that we were talking about the beach access thing, and I don't know if you heard me say this before. You got two types of dogs, right? You got a dog that when you come in the yard, he wiggle his tail, he roll over, wiggle his tail, you know what he gets? He gets a shoe in his ass. But you see the dog that when you come by his yard that he's going up and kick and growl at you, that dog there gets respect. Caymanians on his need to stop wiggling your tail, skin up your teeth and growl a little bit, even if you don't bite, growl a little bit. Fellas, and have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Miss Susan, I believe we can grab one more call before the break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, OC. I called you back and then you mentioned about Markfield Square, that house there, man. OC, that house, we stayed in that house for quite some time. I think that was in 69 to 72 or 3, sometime like that. And, you know, the house were built in such a way that every evening you could go out on the porch and you could always sort of enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. And at night, the house was so cool.
You mean the veranda? The veranda.
The veranda, yes, yes.
We never used to refer to it as a porch, the veranda. Yes.
Veranda, yes. and how it was built, from the time you hit the step and you start walking, you didn't have to go another step when you get into the house, you know. The house was built that the floor ran with how you were walking, you know. I tell you the truth, it really hurt me when I heard that house had been knocked down, man. That house was built in professionalism from, I believe, one of the best carpenters on Cayman Islands. They call it Markfield Square, Mr. Lemuel Markfield, you know.
Yes.
Uncle Lemmy, they used to call him Uncle Lemmy. My grandfather, I remember living in that house. I grew up there, and we had everything there. Remember the old RCA Victrola? Yeah. You had to crank it and wind it up and then put on the records. And I remember the records. We used to have big band sounds records from the 1940s and 50s and Billy Eckstein and all of those things we used to play in that house. And my grandfather used to call it, sit in the drawing room to hear the music. They call it, now they call, what they call it now? Living room. He used to call it drawing room.
Yeah, but we shared that house with John and his wife. When we were living there, we were staying more on the east side, and they were staying like on the west side, I guess.
Yes.
You know, but the house was so cool.
Yes.
And day and night, you know.
Yes.
You know. Well,
You're right about that. You're right about that.
Yeah, it really hurt me when I heard that they tear that house down, man. Honestly.
Thank you.
It had such a nice lot of features inside and outside, you know.
Yep. Thank you very much, caller, for that. All the best. We have to take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
JN Money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use your money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
The Health Services Authority's new pharmacy is now open at the Smith Road Medical Center. The new location features a large, comfortable waiting area and ticketing system to improve the patient experience. All uncollected prescriptions and refill requests previously submitted will now be available for collection at the Smith Road Pharmacy. Request your refills online at hsa.ky via WhatsApp 925-6532 or call 244-2715. For more information about our pharmacy hours, visit hsa.ky.
Cayman, get ready for Blossom Premium All-Inclusive. Come enjoy ambient, sweet soca music and a star-powered cast featuring Red Plastic Band, Red plastic bag. Red plastic bag.
Hey, this is Red Plastic Bag, and I will be in Cayman Islands June 30th for the Blossom Premium All-Inclusive event at the National Gallery. See you there.
Thursday, 30th June at the National Gallery. Party time 7 p.m. to midnight. Dress code light cocktail attire. Blossom Premium All-Inclusive. A production of Calabra and SW Limited.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We still have callers queued up, so we're going straight to the phone lines again. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, and you, Mr. Connor and Dr. Matfield. Hope you all are well.
Yes. Thank you.
Of course, I got chime in when it has to do with Kim O'Brack, and I got commend Alfred and Elvis, as always, for getting out their voices and letting them be heard. Because a lot of people don't want to talk, and that's just unfortunate, and that's why Kim O'Brack has fallen so far behind. But I totally agree with Alfred with respect to that beach access being blocked off, and I'm calling Ms. Vincent Prendergast, and I think there's a member of that commission, Ms. Esme Smith, to look into that, because I think they have a new commission now that deals with the with the beach accesses and making sure that they're not blocked.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I got that right. Anyways, I agree. You can't do that. And this lady apparently has been a thorn in the side of a lot of people up here, and they're getting really fed up with her. I think she might need to call REMAX pretty soon. That's what I would recommend if she can't comply and let people utilize that beach access the way they have utilized it. Because you have prescriptive rights as well if you've been using an access for X amount of years. And that has been used. I remember that being used from I was in Ponytails before we even moved to Grand, and that was from the 70s. So, you can't come and change policy in my country or change our way of life or our culture or what we grew up knowing because it doesn't suit you. It suits you for us not to have any access to our beach. We are islanders. That's what a lot of expatriates that come here need to understand and appreciate about this country. If you ain't going to come to my country and assimilate, don't bother coming. We don't want to hear from you. We don't want to see you. We don't want to hear your disgusting reasons why you don't want us to have access to any beach in our country. Go back home. And I don't have no problem saying that. There are people that come here that love us, assimilate, want to be part of us, don't have a problem with anything to do with that in respect to maintaining our heritage and our culture and everything about our way of life. And they are fine with it. They actually participate. They help to improve it. They help to, make it better for everyone else. But the ones that come, boy, I tell you, we need to start putting a red cross out by their gate.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have a good day.
Thank you very much for that. Yes. And there are a lot more people who feel the way she feels as well. Before I grab the other caller, one of her received this email when we were talking about Minister J. Ebanks, so I want to share this as well. And this writer says, Mr. Ebanks is a good representative. He is humble. Recently, he stood with the people of West Bay, South to deal with a matter where the owners of the large house near to Alfresco's to resolve the problem where the owners were infringing on the rights of the public by placing the pavers on the public path of the road. This is the second time this has happened. If you should now take a look at it, you will now look at the new layout that gives the right back to the public persons, and then they'd say that they would forward a photograph of that, which they did. So, again, someone with very positive and complimenting things to say about Minister J. Ebanks as well. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello again.
Yes, ma'am. Hello again.
It was briefly mentioned early on in the show between you and Dr. McField, I think it was, about the work that Britain is trying to do what the PM talks about to do. Correct, get it done. Correct what's wrong. Get it done. That right there. I think you, Dr. McField, you need to help us generate that kind of like in the near future, when you can get your court case done. Because that to me tells me if we hold on a bit, that might give us some like a roadmap, and we can direct our paths a little differently, even now that we seem to be up in the corner and everybody's got sticks and muskets on us. But I really want to see how that turns out, and to see what we in here in Cayman can get just through that. Because I was listening to something about it last night, and even those people in England, we call white people, they feel in the pinch of it. They can't have no law in their country that EU not tell them, oh no, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, you can't do that. So, we need to really pray that this goes the right way, and look and see what we can get out of it. And I would ask you again, Dr. McField,
thank you,
to give us a little look-see on that from the technical side.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very much.
Thank you.
Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. You're coming in hot and heavy this morning. What we're going to do, Miss Susan, is after 9 o'clock, we're going to place that call to Billy, or after we finish with this, the group of callers that we have now. That may be after the 9 o'clock news. Then we'll call Billy afterwards as well. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Busy morning.
Good. Yep.
Yes.
Hot and heavy this morning.
In respect to that call, I suspect that call down from Kim and Bragg, I will bring it to the attention of the PLC at the very first meeting. Also, what she could do, we have a representative from the Bragg there, Mrs. Elsie Kine, so it would be good if she could pass some of that information to her, so that she will be able to assist us with more details on it at the next meeting. So I hope Mrs. Kynes is listening, that she can provide us with some more information at the meeting.
But Ms. Esme, does your organization has any teeth? I mean, how effective?
Yes, sir. It has teeth, but it was a new organization with the law, and we had to put a number of things in place, and we're moving there, but we're doing more than what has actually been out there to the public. But we will soon be dealing with that, because I feel that we should have a public meeting. But I am not the chair or anything, so I would have to discuss all of that with the chair.
So are you been able to have these accesses secured and registered?
Not all of them. We are in the process of registering some now that affidavits have just come in, and we're dealing with the last that has been that long story with the 500 or 700 affidavits that we had in.
Okay.
It's not that we have gone sleep, but let's put it like this: the wheels of government at times move like molasses. Let's put it like that.
Okay. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for that as well. And, we won't have enough time for the other caller, but I'll just pose this question to Dr. McField that one of our listeners wrote in as well. And they, when we were talking about the tree falling over into someone's property and creating damage as well, the person said, what if the landowner wrote to the owner, who property owner on whose property the tree is, what if they wrote to them warning them of the event of bad weather and asking them to do something about the tree? So what if I in advance say to my neighbor, listen, your tree is here, we know the storm is coming, you need to do something to prevent it from falling into my property?
That might be a different story.
Yeah.
That might be a different story. And if the owner of the tree knows that the tree is, for instance, unstable, rotten, broken limbs, and does nothing to rectify that, he could be liable too if the tree falls over in the other person's premises.
Okay. Folks, top of the hour, headline news at 9 o'clock. When we return, the conversation will continue, so please stay tuned.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Spread the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
There are 932 estimated active cases of COVID-19 in Cayman, with 4 patients hospitalized. Government reported 140 cases of the illness for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, with 2 of those in the sister islands. The city's mayor says Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, where a gunman killed 19 students and 2 teachers, will be demolished. Don McLaughlin made the claim on Tuesday at a tense and emotional council meeting with residents demanding answers over the shooting. He did not say when the school would be demolished. Public anger has risen since the May rampage, with police accused of waiting over an hour to confront the assailant. And a powerful earthquake has killed at least 920 people and left hundreds more injured in Afghanistan. Pictures show landslides and ruined mud-built homes in eastern Paktika province, where rescuers have been scrambling to treat the injured. In remote areas, helicopters have been ferrying victims to hospitals. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, none other than Dr. Steve MacPhail. We have several callers queued up, and I'm going to ask the callers to please be as brief as possible. We want to accommodate all of you, and by being as brief as possible, then we won't have to cut you off in the middle of a sentence, especially if we have to go to a commercial break. So let's grab the caller. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. I just want to say my route go very deep here in Cayman. When I say Cayman, I mean all 3 islands. So my ancestors actually come from Little Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Grand Cayman.
Okay.
That's why I say it goes very deep. So I call on behalf of my back roots. Since all of them were calling in, I'm just chime in with them. Yes, when it comes to the beach accesses, there are lots, well, more so on Grand than over there, but all you can see is big boulders or whatever else blocking these accesses that we have used for years. And a lot of times people just come and say, oh, be quiet, this and that. No, you have to speak out. If you don't speak out, dog eat your supper. I am tired, like the Braca said, tired and sick and tired of being sick and tired. Well, that's me. Speaking out for ages now on different issues. Beach access is one of them. We need to do something because we are not honored in our own country anymore. And like Doc said, we are too easy and make people come in here and ram mud down our throats. That got to stop. And I thank the minister from planning and works and whatever else it's called on the job he is doing. He is about one of the other ones that are making a difference inside there. So Minister J, congrats.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, caller, for that. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, O.C.
Good morning, good morning. How are you? Haven't heard from you in a while.
Not bad, yourself?
I'm good, thanks.
Hanging in there, and I think Dr. Mark Hill is there with you.
Yes, he is.
Say good morning to him also.
Good morning to you, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, sir. O.C., maybe you and Mr. Markfield can help me with my question that I have. When it comes to driving, I think I'm pretty much educated as anybody else on the road, and probably more so than a lot, right? But the question is the street light that is on the end of South Sound Road. Can you explain to me what purpose that is for?
Can you repeat that? Where's the street light located?
The light there on the end of South Sound Road there by Hurley's, the roundabout.
Is it still operational as well? Because I believe at one point in time it was there to sort of control the traffic entering the roundabout from South Sound. That was at a point in time when people were diverting either through Old Crew Road or deliberately coming through South Sound, because once the traffic, you had that stream of traffic going through the roundabout, they ended up having the right-of-way and more traffic traveling that way rather than from the main road, which is coming from Lions Center. So I don't know if it's still operational, if it's just there, or whether or not it's still operational.
It's still operational, and I drive that road every afternoon during the peak, and the light is there, and I'm sitting there, and there's no traffic coming from east towards the roundabout by Hurley.
And you still have to wait?
Yes. I can't figure out what are we doing sitting down here waiting, burning gas and everything else. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense at all, because from the time they put that there, I was puzzled and tickled to death about it, and I could not figure out from why that was done the way it was done. So they need to change it or cut it off or do something with it seriously, because it makes no sense at all.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hopefully someone from the NRA is listening in as well, to that, because, definitely.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I wonder sometimes as well, Doc, because I wonder, well, and you've been on the NRA board.
Mm-hmm. I wonder sometimes.
And getting a echo there, so, okay. Do they have persons who will drive around and try to observe all of the nuances and stuff like that? I know at night, for instance, there are some roundabouts and some areas where the lighting is really horrendous.
Yes,
and for persons who are not accustomed to driving on those roads and stuff like that, those turns that are in the road, do they actually have someone who will go out there and see where all of the nuances and I shouldn't say they're more of obstructions or accident causing situations that can be corrected?
Yes, when I was there, they had we had implemented a system where we had one person from the NRA and one person from CUC.
Mm-hmm.
They would go out and look at those lights, and I don't know if it's still in existence now. But it was not because of the traffic lights that were not working properly,
the roads that need proper lighting.
Lights.
Yes, yeah.
And that was because when I went there, I found that we were paying something like $90,000 a month. We were paying almost $1 million a month for street lighting.
$100,000 per month.
$100,000. I mean $100,000 from $98,000 $100,000 per month, nearly that for lighting. It was over $1 million a year for lighting, and some of the lights that we were paying for were not working, and the bulbs were not working, and so that was a concern to me, because I even had a few people we went to CUC and says we'd like to renegotiate this problem, because CUC has their poles in one of the most expensive piece of real estate in the Cayman Islands, which is the road system, and they're not paying. They're not paying to put those to put those poles down the roadway. But we have to pay CUC for the lighting. That's how the contract is written. That's what I discovered. They say, "Well, look at the look at the franchise how it was written." So we have to pay that, and that's what I decided to get. If we have to pay this money to you, we are going to see that every street light is working, and every street light in every place in every district is working properly, and that is why those people were implemented to do that. I don't know if it's still existence or not.
Thank you for that, Doc. Let's grab another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. We can hear ourselves in the background, so you may want to turn your radio down or off. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Am I on?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's been a long wait. Sorry. And burning gas, as the man was saying, driving on the road. Yeah. And and stop blaming Putin for it. He didn't have nothing to do with this. Anyway, funny joke. Not really funny for those who don't understand. But anyway, you guys, good day. I'm Generational Caymanian. I've been listening to the radio this morning. You guys talking about the beach access, and like the man says in the BRAC, I also, like any other sensible Caymanian who enjoys our culture, which is majority of the ocean, is sick and tired of being sick and tired. Am I still on? I can't hear you.
We can hear you. I think that's the important part. We're hearing you.
Okay. Yes, sir. Respect, sir. Yeah, I'm Generational Caymanian, and to Mr. Maxfield, respect, sir. Cayman's first master barrister, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Yeah, maximum respect. It's a historical landmark right there, and we like the heroes that are still alive. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We don't wait till they're dead and then acknowledge them. So that's one that's actually a walking, goddamn, living icon right there. Humbly speaking, I'm the first rapper to work professional on this island, too. That should mean something. Anybody knows who I'm talking. Anybody knows that should know who's talking right now. Anyway, I can't add to the beach conversation. It's absolutely ridiculous, all right? I don't know how many times I felt like I'm back in Jim Crow. A lot of people think I'm young because I'm a surfer, I'm a diver, blah, blah, blah. But I'm 52 years of age, and I can tell you straight up from going to school in the States and being respected in all the nice areas that I live. But sometimes there's someone who is jealous of your respect, especially as an African Caribbean man descendant. No matter where you are in the Caribbean, especially in the looking at a black man, you see a black man, you're an African descendant. Anyway, you see an Asian, they know they're an Asian. I know what happened to a lot of our people. But anyway, I'm an African descendant from the Cayman Islands. Long story short, I don't know. I can't add to the beach conversation because I can't tell you how many times, since especially COVID ended, the lockdown, that I've had the police call on me for fishing from shore. You understand? From shore. I mean, it's like really some Jim Crow crap going on here. It's crazy.
But can we fish on shore from the shore any place in the Cayman Islands?
I don't think so.
Or are there restrictions based on the marine conservation law?
In a marine park area, as long as you're not taking in, as long as you're not taking species that are above and beyond the law or what have you, or numbers. Okay, even in a marine park area, and up until high water line, it's supposed to be public property. This is a conversation we shouldn't have to have, and it's always these type of Caucasians, because not all of them are bad, but most of them seem like these days are. It's always these type of people that are calling the police on you in your own home for fishing. Anyway, so I'll leave that at that. That's something for y'all to think about. Like, that's one police officer that came down one day. They're like, "Oh, David, what they call it for you?" I said, "Look, it could have been you. I'm old enough to hit that police officer's uncle. Smart young man. No better." So anyway, I'm going to add this one. Can I speak one more thing for a lady?
Very quickly, please.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to work water sports right now. Why the God-on creation of the Almighty God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are we in the Caribbean, Cayman Islands, and a water sports industry we started, that we have foreigners that aren't even of Caribbean background running our tourists? Literally, we have tourists taking out tourists. And none of them can even tell you a Cayman dish. None of them know anything about our culture. Why is that legal? And cannot something be done about this? Because sooner or later, I'm not the only one that's woken up here. People are going to get together and damn well do something about it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, that's what our friend in Pennsylvania, told us. He said the revolution is coming.
That's right.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a revolution where you're using weapons of destruction.
No, that's not the kind of revolution he's talking about. No.
And the one that is taking place really is the mental one. That's coming first.
That's
and
coming first.
We have to continue to push for that as well.
That's right.
Do we have any other callers on hold? Okay, so we're going to close the phone lines off for a while. We're going to call, link up with Mr. Billy over in Canada, and we're going to talk about the legal profession in the Cayman Islands. We see one jurisdiction where there are at least 4 lawyers who are now serving time in prison for misappropriating funds for their clients' funds. There was a case in Bermuda the other day. I'm not sure what the culmination of that one was as well, where a lawyer basically inveigled an older person who they had where they had control over some of their finances, to give them a $50,000 loan, and they claimed that $50,000 loan was to help them to end up being qualified to be a salaried partner in their law firm, and that was not the case, as well. I'm not sure what the outcome of that is. But we in Barbados, I believe, we have a case now. There may be a lawyer who is either in prison or is still in the courts, as well. Seems as if in many instances the target or the victim has been someone who a member of the diaspora who are living overseas,
yes,
and have property, and they want to sell, and have a lawyer,
or they send to buy property.
Yes,
or they send them money to buy property.
Yeah.
And they confiscate the money, and or they sold the property and confiscate the money and don't pay it over to the vendors.
So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about the UK and their drive towards
reforming the Civil Rights Act.
Yes. Okay. We're going to take that commercial break. When we return, we're going to link up with Mr. Billy Samamba. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross, now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm going to preface this segment of the discussion by reading you an article. This is from one BBC's carried it, The Guardian, all of those. This one is actually from the Financial Times. And new Bill of Rights would allow UK courts to diverge from ECHR rulings. Injunctions from human rights body would be non-binding, and the Supreme Court would hold ultimate judicial authority. The article goes on to say ministers are planning legislation. They're actually being debated in Parliament, I believe, today, to end the requirement of UK courts to follow human rights rulings from the European Court of Human Rights, making clear that the United Kingdom Supreme Court is the ultimate judicial decision maker. Dominic Raab, Deputy Prime Minister, will introduce the measures in a new Bill of Rights to be placed before Parliament on Wednesday. The bill has triggered concerns from the legal profession and human rights groups, which have called it a power grab by the state. Under the bill, UK courts would not always have to follow case law of the European Court of Human Rights based in Strasbourg. The bill contains measures to strengthen free speech. It would also make it easier to deport foreign criminals by restricting their right to appeal using human rights arguments. Speaking on Wednesday morning, Raab argued that the legislation would see, quote, unquote, common sense restored to the legal system. Overall, what our Bill of Rights will do is strengthen the quincentennially British tradition of freedom, particularly freedom of speech, but it will curb abuses of the system and inject a bit more common sense. And that's what he told BBC Radio 4's program today. So, gentlemen, and one of the questions that we have already from our listening audience, if this legislation is passed in the UK, what does that say for the Cayman Islands? Can we piggyback on that, or can we then craft legislation that we know should be assented by the UK if it is similar to what they have in place as well? So, Mr. Billy, welcome back. Thanks for joining us in this conversation. We'll start with you, Billy.
Well, thanks very much for allowing me to call back, and so we can sort of like canvas this issue a little more.
Yeah.
I think it is very good, OC, that you read that background, because I was going to begin there, so you saved me that. What I can add to that a little bit is, from some of my reading, they say that it is estimated that as much as 70% of successful human rights challenges are brought by foreign national offenders who cite a right to family life in the first instance when appealing deportation laws. Mm-hmm. And I know that, Dr. Steve, in an earlier program, you did talk about this particular thing, about the right to family life, how that also has really been a problem. Well, just for those people who are not familiar with, why this decision has to be made, the rule of international law, generally speaking, is that when an international agreement is entered into, it doesn't apply directly in the domestic local jurisdiction of the individual parties to that agreement. And that was the case before 1998 in the UK, so that even if the UK was part of the European Convention on Human Rights, when decisions were made by the European Court and the policy decisions also made by the European Commission, they did not bind any legal institution, any court in the UK. So they passed this 1998 Act to say, okay, now we are going to create an exception to this rule of international law. So now, whenever decisions are made at the European level, they will bind the UK courts in terms of how the convention is interpreted. And now, they have felt that because the EU, the European Court and Commission have gone too far, they want, as you have said, they want that the Supreme Court in the UK should be the ultimate arbiter of interpreting the European Convention of Human Rights, and that those institutions can no longer declare a law in the UK as being invalid on the basis that it contravenes the Convention. Mm-hmm. However, they want to remain part of the Convention. They just want to have ultimate authority to be the ones who interpret it. Now, about the implications for Cayman. What this means is that if the British government were to take a position, then the Cayman Islands would be bound by that position, like if they did an order in council or something like that. And if that position is more favorable to Cayman, then it means that Cayman will be in a better position. But then if the British government took a position which is similar to what the EU would have taken anyway,
mm-hmm.
Then it doesn't make a difference. But it does create an opportunity that certain things which were being forced on Cayman on the basis that this is what the European Court and the European Commission have decided, Cayman doesn't have to be now bound by those. It will be bound by those which the UK
are signatory or party to. Yes.
Exactly, party to. And there is a possibility. It's very difficult because you have to deal with particular issues. Like, for example, the issue of same-sex marriage. The European Union, the European Court have said, well, marriage is not a right. That's what they have said. But in the UK, they have something more than that. There is marriage and so on. So it depends on which it is, but it does create an opportunity here and there for perhaps the UK position to align more with Cayman position. So we could be in a better position, but it depends on what the issue is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I can say about that one. I don't know if Dr. Steve wants to add on that. I know he's very, very conversant with this as well.
Yeah, Doc?
Yeah, because this review and this bill that's now before Parliament comes as a result of some 50,000 people, potential deportees that they have in Great Britain that they can't get rid of.
Yes.
Because they have been relying on Article 8 of the European Convention of Human Rights to say that they have a right to family life. And I think not only the Bill of Rights is going to, they're arguing, but also they're looking at curbing judicial review, because they said these prerogative writs, which judicial review is part of the prerogative writs, is stemifying the government from having political results that they need to have, and that they need to curb those two. That they're looking at whether or not how they can reform the judicial review to prevent you from applying for the judicial review to challenge the court's decisions, to challenge the government decisions to deport. Now, the freedom of speech, of course, you know, Mr. Billy, in England, that has always been very, very strict. And there's an old saying, when we were at school, it says, you publish and be damned. It means publish and take your chances that you might be sued. Well, in the States, you can say anything about the president, anything, and you can't be sued for that. They are moving towards that, towards what the Americans are doing too, because in Britain now they have come to the conclusion that they're saying not everything that you say should be actionable, and that's what they're doing, and sharpening the powers of separation of powers. I think between the courts, I think that is something that they have seen for a long time now. That even when they come, the Supreme Court of United Kingdom the British power, the great empire, has made a decision, they're now subject to to Strasbourg court, and they have to follow the case law. And so now they're saying, we're not going to follow the case law anymore of Strasbourg. Our court is the Supreme Court here. And once you make a decision, that is it. It cannot be challenged in any European court. And I think what Ms. Patel got this last week was an example of that, when she was sending the refugees to
Rwanda. Kigali, yes, Rwanda.
And the European courts at the last minute imposed an injunction on them leaving and so forth. I think that just hurt the British morale and the right that they think that they have. That's hurt them very much, and now they're proceeding on to do this. I think that we have been in a better position, because we will not be, because if we craft legislation also, I don't think the British would be in a position then to not accept to our legislation that we pass. They would have to, because it would be similar to theirs, and they couldn't say, well, it would be like going back into slavery and putting us back into in slavery.
I think you're right, Dr. Steve, because a number of times the UK government have said, well, if it was up to us, we could have allowed Cayman to do this, but
That's
we
right.
are following a European principle.
That's right.
And I see that as having quite a bit of an effect on people coming to Cayman and claiming the right to a family life, since that's one which specifically that in the UK they feel that the European court has gone too far. And I can see that will give greater scope in Cayman for the government institutions, for the courts, to be able to say, no. We are not. The right to a family life doesn't extend to such and such a matter and so forth, because that is clearly being narrowly defined in the UK, and therefore Cayman also will be forced to be narrowly defined.
Yes.
And this is from me. This is from somebody like me, by the way, who got somebody who had a very good Caymanian connection, who was a full adult person, married, a client of mine, and I was able to make representations to the Immigration Appeal Tribunal that they should stay because they had a good family connection. But in that particular case, they really had a good family connection in Cayman with grandkids and cousins and in-laws and this and that. So I think that was a case which was really good. Now,
Billy, I'm going to ask you to hang there for a second. Stay on the line. We have to take the commercial break. When we return, we're going to continue this conversation. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
JN Money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use a money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
With Logic, you get more things you do want, like faster fiber internet, more TV, entertainment, and better customer service. And you get less of the things you don't want, like waiting, boredom, and disappointment. More of the good, less of the bad. It just makes sense. Or should I say, it's logical. See what I did there? Call us or go to logic.ky to find out how you could be getting way more of what's good.
The hurricane season is here. Are you ready? If not, now is the time to prepare. Follow the Water Authority on social media for important announcements and survival tips throughout the hurricane season. You can download free preparedness brochures from the Water Authority's website, www.waterauthority.ky. Be aware, be safe, be prepared.
You know the easiest way to get free food? No, not go steal your neighbor's mango, but plant a tree. Yeah, for real. More trees, more food, less grocery bills. To celebrate Her Majesty Queen Platinum Jubilee, come plant a tree for the Jubilee. Yeah, we need you. Yes, you. Make sure you leave your green mark on the Cayman Islands. Perhaps a mango tree, a legitimate tree, even a little bit of coconut or cabbage. Is it time we all started eating off the land again? Register your tree and leave your green print at www.gov.ky/National Tree Planting. Or make sure you follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Plant a tree for the Jubilee. Proudly brought to you by the Cayman Islands Government, Ministry for Sustainability and Climate Resiliency. Let's green Cayman now.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have Mr. Billy Samamba on the line from Canada, I believe, and Dr. Steve McFeel in the studio with me. We're talking about the new bill that is being debated in Parliament today, being introduced in relation to the United Kingdom and the European Court of Human Rights. One of our listeners wanted to know, and we covered part of this, but I'll read the whole question that so that we can have context to it. Says, please ask your guests if the new UK human rights legislation is passed. Does that mean that the Cayman Islands may not be bound by the European Human Rights Conventions in relation to immigration, awarding citizenship, etc.? If the UK will no longer be bound by the EU rules, will that mean that Cayman could extricate itself from the mandate to award permanent residency and Caymanian status to expatriate workers on the basis of residence only? This may be a good development and save Caymanians from being totally outnumbered as well. And I believe we discussed earlier that, it's our local legislation that determines the residency. When we were considering that, we looked at, I think one of the things was the Treaty of Rome, along with that as well. So I'll get you to answer that. There's another observation that I want to make that I'd like you to discuss as well, and I know I'm throwing a lot on you. Billy, you're there still. We see recently that in Bermuda, the Bermuda Parliament has now brought a bill, I believe it has been passed by now, but I will double check, where those marriages, same-sex marriages that took place in Bermuda when the civil partnership law was struck down and the same-sex marriages were allowed in Bermuda. There were several marriages that took place then. Now, with the ultimate ruling by the Privy Council, we know that legislation was again struck down, and the big question was, what will happen to those persons who had previously gotten married while the law is in effect? And in their parliament now, they have brought legislation to make those marriages legal. Those persons who got married during that period of time, those marriages will be recognized as well. So along with this question, let's talk about that one as well, gentlemen.
I suppose that once the new reforms, the new bill, the new Civil Rights Acts, and the 1998 Civil Rights Acts will have vanished, will have been taken away. The treaty that brought that into effect, that caused that to be in effect, would have gone too. that would have that part of the treaty would have been withdrawn too, so forth. Now, our Constitution gives us the right to control people enter in, exclusion from the Cayman Islands in their employment, their engagement in any business or profession, and their movement in the Cayman Islands or their residence within the Cayman Islands or not Caymanians. One of the things that we certainly have control of, that's the entry. We have our laws that say who can enter and who cannot enter. One of the things we do not have control of is the exclusion from, because you remember now we cannot deport people who the courts say they have a right to family life. We cannot send them off. So we're not in control of that. Residents in the Cayman Islands, that is up and down, because people say that they have a right to appeal to the European Convention to the Strasbourg courts if we deny them residence, even though we control that right now. And then the business and profession, we already control that. We already have that, because once you get a permanent residency, once you get a work permit in the Cayman Islands, you cannot work outside that work permit unless you get permission. And once you become a permanent residence in the Cayman Islands, you cannot work outside the profession in which your residence is based upon. So we control that too. It's only when you get Caymanian status now that you are free to do whatever you want to do. So it seems to me, Mr. Billy, that if this bill goes through in the United Kingdom and Strasbourg is no longer the final court of appeal in civil rights cases, that we would have no problems following that the lead of the United Kingdom once we put our legislation into place.
Billy?
Yes, I agree 100%, because you see, two things. Like I said earlier on, there were cases where the UK would say, we're going to allow you to do this, but we have to do it because we have to meet our obligation to the European the Commission of Human Rights, and we have got a duty. Okay, that's one. But also the other thing is that even if the Cayman were to disagree with the UK on a particular point, at least we can negotiate with the UK to say, okay, fine, I know in your country you are not doing this, but now we are negotiating only with you. Give us an exception because we have the following special issues to deal with. It gives us greater scope to do even something which is different from what they are doing in the UK, so there's additional scope to be able to do that. And I know that will really affect this issue of the right to a family life. Oh, by the way, this client I represented, who I can't mention as well, they were not convicted of an offense. They were just here, they were with their husband, and they were living here, and they wanted a renewal of their work permit and to be able to apply for permanent residence. It had nothing to do with a criminal offense.
Okay.
I just thought I'd clarify that.
Sure.
Now, about judicial review, Dr. Steele, you've mentioned about how they are trying to limit judicial review in the UK.
Yes.
Let me just add another thing. In 2016, I was writing an article which was eventually published in the University of Oxford on Cayman human rights, and I came across an article in the course of my research which told me that actually in certain areas, around the same time, in certain areas, the UK had gone to Parliament to amend the law so that in certain narrow areas, you needed to bring a judicial review within 8 weeks rather than 12 weeks. And they were very heavily criticized because they said you are trying to limit judicial review. Even if you haven't changed the general period of time, you've only changed it in relation to certain categories, you are trying to limit the judicial review rather than leave it to the Bar Association to amend its rules. you circumvented that thing, and then you went direct to Parliament because you knew that the Bar Association would never agree. So there has been a lot of fighting against just limitation of judicial review. Judicial review is, if you think about in the 1940s, judicial review was even in the UK, it wasn't much, but now it's such a big thing. And once human rights came in and the EU came in, it has really hamstrung governments sometimes in doing what they want to do. And
exactly. Yes.
Exactly. It has really done that. And you talked a little earlier. Oh, the question about the gentleman about the PR.
Yes.
The one who says yes. The answer to that is yes. It will give the Cayman government greater scope on how to regulate PR without that danger of being told, oh, but you see, the European standards require 10 years and so on and so forth. That now the government can do, quite apart from the fact that they can do it even now under Section 10.
Yes, they can do. Yes.
They can do it right now. But for those who are saying, oh, but let's not do it because the European standards are going to be contravened, that now also is eliminated. So the government must be put under pressure. They must be told, you guys now, there's nothing limiting you. The Constitution doesn't limit you, and the European standards don't limit you. So if you want to say that PR should be granted only after 15 years and the status after 20 years, you can still do that. You can do whatever it is you want. If you want to do what Benny Warren Jr. suggested some years ago when he ran in 2017, he said that you must correlate the number of grants to the birth rate to ensure that the birth rate is higher than the number of grants you are giving, and then keep a healthy distance between the two so that you can arrest and then hopefully reverse that trend. You can now do that because you don't have any excuse at all. Also about Bermuda, you mentioned about Bermuda. I am a member of a discussion group in Bermuda, a Facebook group called Dispossession in Bermuda. It is actually run by a civil advocacy group. It's called the Civil Justice Advocacy Group in Bermuda, and they have been talking about this issue. If we can move into that, about client money and all those things. And
okay, so let me take the commercial break first, Billy, and then we can go to that. We're going to take our last break for the morning, folks. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Hello? Cla, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, how you?
Good. I try and figure out where Lee Classic moved to.
I was just there last week.
Really? I hear she have an anniversary sale.
She got a shoe for every foot.
I know. That's why I try and get down there.
You know where she located? Let me tell you. She located at a Strand shopping complex on the Westway Road.
Yeah, I believe I know where that is. Girl, I gotta go. I got me a good pair of shoes.
That's right. Le Classique is now located in the Strand Shopping Complex and is celebrating 39 years. 20, 39, 50% off all shoes. Shoes as low as $15, $20, even $10. That's right, K-Man. Don't miss this one. Sale on now through Saturday, June 25th. Be there.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Tune in Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. for the Daily Sports Report, covering local, regional, and international sports. Proudly brought to you by Dr. Wayne Porter, offering a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today.
For the Record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the Record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. We have Mr. Billy Samamba on the line and we have Dr. Steve MacPhail in the studio. I may not get enough time in closing to mention this, so I want to extend condolences to the family of the late Olga Scott, who is the wife, was the wife of the Premier of Bermuda, former Premier of Bermuda, Alex Scott. Now, Mr. Scott was Premier during the Hurricane Ivan as well, and when we had Hurricane Ivan here in the Cayman Islands, and we, of course, know that the Bermuda Regiment was here. I also know that Premier Scott and our then Leader of Government Business, the Honorable Kurt Tibbetts, had a very good personal and working relationship, as well. So we want to extend condolences to former Premier Alex Scott and his family on the passing of his wife, Olga Scott, who actually is from Jamaica, and she went to Bermuda as a social worker to basically to develop. She was a pioneer on work with teenagers in Bermuda as well. So I just wanted to mention that. Billy, back over to you. Sorry to have interrupted you before.
Well, yeah, of course, condolences to the family as well. Well, the thing about, I was just going to say that, I'm a member of a group in Bermuda which discusses issues of this nature, clients' money, and really anything relating to social justice. It is run by a group called the Civil Advocacy Group, Civil Justice Advocacy Group in Bermuda, which does, I'm not a member of the group, but I'm not a member of the organization, but I'm a member of the Facebook group. Mm-hmm. And they do a lot of good work in that they are the ones who expose, I won't mention the name of the judge, although it was in the Bermuda Gazette. They are the ones who exposed that a certain judge of the Court of Appeal, who was president of the Court of Appeal in Bermuda, but also an ordinary member of the Court of Appeal in Cayman, he lied when he said that certain recordings didn't exist. That group was able to come out 7 years later to show that they actually existed, and they wanted to prosecute him for perverting the course of justice, but at that time he was too sick and he died subsequent. Condolences to him, of course, but that happened. But talking about the client's money issue, in fact, you don't realize or see how appropriate this question is, at least to ask me, because in the last 7 days, I've sent a Freedom of Information request to the judiciary, to the information manager there, but it is really for the Chief Justice to answer. And the questions I've asked are two questions. One, how many lawyers have been complained against since the Chief Justice became Chief Justice? And of those cases, how many were decided in a summary way? In other words, was it found that there was no evidence whatsoever and so they were dismissed, or there was no jurisdiction? How many were decided in a summary way? And then how many did go to a hearing? And after that hearing, what were the decisions in all those cases? I haven't asked him for the names, but I've also asked about the nature of the cases. Are they about lying on oath? Are they about stealing clients' money? What is the nature of those? And I'm expecting that the Chief Justice's office will answer by the 7th of July, because that's when the 30 days for FOI is up. I've also asked the same question in relation to judges. Since he became, since 2016, when he had the power, the Chief Justice, to hear complaints against Grand Court judges, again, same questions, what cases has he heard and so on, including what were the decisions which were made. This is very, very important. And by the way, while we are talking about judges, my matter is coming up on the 31st of August, and I have finished doing the bundles, so now we are just waiting for the date to come. But anyway, coming back to the client's money issue, let me give it a little bit of perspective. In the Cayman Islands, when I came to Cayman, I found that when you wanted to complain against a lawyer, you went to the Chief Justice. I have never known that to be the case anywhere.
You still do?
No. Exactly, because the law hasn't been repealed yet, because the new one hasn't come into effect. You are right, yes. You have to go to the Chief Justice. And then when you go to the Chief Justice, there is no transparent way in which matters are dealt with. I know lawyers who have complained against lawyers and nothing was ever done. I know that I have complained against, I don't want to go in too much into my case. I have also complained there's nothing that happens in there. There is need for accountability. Let me give you an example. I come from Africa, from the southern African country of Zambia. We had a Law Society Act from the 50s and 60s, colonial times, where there was already a structure where if a lawyer misbehaves, you go to the Law Society. There's a disciplinary committee, they look at the matter, and the people get disbarred from time to time. And in the Cayman Islands, that's about just never happens. Meanwhile, people complain about how money has been stolen from them or work has not been done, and yet nothing happens. Let me give you an example of Ontario, and Dr. Steve will be very familiar with what happens in jurisdictions in Canada. If you complain against a lawyer, it goes through a sifting mechanism. When the Bar Association decides that there's a prima facie case and they can't resolve it, then it becomes public. If you go to the website, you will find that this lawyer is being complained against by X. And even if the lawyer is exonerated, it is still on the website. Now, they are very careful that before it goes public that there's some substance and they can't resolve it. And I think a lot of people in Cayman have really been shafted very bad. When you misuse clients' money, in many jurisdictions, you will never practice again.
Yes, right.
Exactly, because once you are involved in an offense involving dishonesty, you have taken clients' money. You are now, I know a lawyer who stole $250 equivalent in my own country from the 70s when I was just about to be called to the bar. And that person up to this day can't practice why? Because they said you misappropriated the client's money and you were convicted.
Mm-hmm. So what are the between you and Dr. Steve Billy? What are the guardrails that we have in place here? I know I was the administrator of co-administrator of an estate, and the lawyer on my side was extremely careful in terms of the actions taken, as far as client money was concerned, and actually had an escrow account created for the sale of property, and those monies were deposited there, and every single cent was accounted for. What are the guardrails that we have in place here in Cayman?
I don't think we have so many here. Mm-hmm. It goes by traditional behavior, honesty among lawyers, and remember now we don't have any legislation yet that regulates the lawyers because we still operating under the old 1969 legal practitioners law, which really doesn't have much teeth in it.
Mm-hmm. Billy?
Just very quick, I'd like to leave it to Dr. Steve to wind up in the end, but let me make a last comment regarding escrow account. As is very well known, lawyers, just like other practitioners, are supposed to have an office account and a client's account. The names are a little bit different, but an office account and a client's account. When your client pays your deposit, that's not your money yet. You put it in a client's account. And the client account must be such that if the client wants the money, they should be able to have it without you saying you have to wait for 30 days. Okay, because you haven't earned it. Once you do the work, then you bill it, and then you transfer it into your office account.
Yes.
There are people who have been disciplined for putting money that should go into the client account or the escrow account. They have put it in their office account. Sometimes they have not even stolen anything, but they have said you shouldn't put it in your account.
Commingle, yes.
You shouldn't commingle it and so on. So all those things, I find that they need to be properly regulated, and there should be a mechanism by which people should complain in a transparent way so that we know what is going on. Let me stop there and leave it.
Thank you. Billy, I want to thank you very much for being so accommodating with us this morning. I'm sure that our listening and viewing audience have learned a lot this morning as a result of this conversation.
Before you go, Mr. Billy, we didn't get to speak about the British Parliament also trying to reform the right to a jury trial.
Oh yes, that beach access, everything. Well, but
we will have more time to touch on those. Definitely, Doc. I want to give you an opportunity for some quick closing comments as well.
Well, I don't have so much to say now. I was sort of caught up into what we were talking about, but I was trying to say that we were coming back to what we started this morning about the access and whatnot, and the beach access and stuff. I wrote down a few notes there that I would like to expand on. I was saying that people who do not protect their way of life has no right to speak about civil rights, and the people who do not honor their ancestors' struggles to make how they make them more secure ought to be treated as no class in their own country. And the people who do not respect scholarship and education achievement has no right to speak truth to power.
Okay, Doc, I want to thank you for being here this morning, and hopefully your time will allow, and we will have more time here on the Radio Cayman that we can continue these discussions, because this is what our listeners want to hear as well. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today, and as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
And JN Money
from abroad.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Follow Radio Cayman on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com.